What's up everyone, it's Magic here, and today we're looking into new Lightroom Classic 15.0. That's the new version of Lightroom Classic. First time ever we got the early access to the culling inside Lightroom. Yes, we do have now like special, I would say, AI culling, you know, recognition of the images, auto stacking of the images. Is it perfect? Not yet, but like that just shows that Lightroom is moving forward. And I always wondered, when will Lightroom start revealing those new features that we now use third-party software for? So without further ado, let's jump into the Lightroom. So the assisted culling I'm going to show in a second. The other things that are new, we have auto stacking, which I'm going to show you both auto stacking and assisted culling together. We have some edit updates, and we have automatic detection of the sensor dust, which is awesome. Like, I've tried it. It works perfect. Here's a preview of me testing it. I do hope that in one of the next updates, we will finally get the emergency exit auto removal. That would be perfect, because all the wedding photographers are constantly editing out the emergency exits indoors when we shoot portraits. We have some performance enhancements, and so new things are like, you know, when you're cropping, you can now zoom in, so that's nice. There's also smoother performance when cropping. This is the type of performance enhancement that we get with every Lightroom update, so it's great to see that. Then we have 4K export for video. So I don't use video. I don't know if anyone is using video in Lightroom, but if you do, you can now export 4K. You also have some options with tethering, not interesting. More filters for library, which is cool, because now you can filter out images that are stacked, stuff that is manually removed. So yep, more filtering options, always great. There's folder panel enhancements, which is great for me because I use one massive catalog, and now I can see in which folders in my catalog I do have some files that are not connected to my catalog, that are missing for some reason. We also have capture time displaying milliseconds now. So if you're shooting multiple cameras, that is the case of many wedding photographers. Let's say you shoot 2 cameras, your second shooter shoots 2 cameras. Now you can sync up to milliseconds for better synchronization across multiple cameras. But most importantly, let's look at that assisted culling. So now it's a new panel in library module that you can access. You can see it says early access. You have a bunch of options here, which I'm going to show in a second. Then we have culling scores as well. It's scoring the images and shows you the score of the image that you're looking at. So different images are going to have different assessments. So this image, for example, score of subject focus 71. I'm not sure why 71. It's perfectly in focus. Eye focus score 100, and then eyes likely open. These are very open eyes to me. And then exposure, it says it's underexposed because it's looking at the histogram. For me, that exposure detection, I don't really like it. I don't see it's doing a good job, but like, it's early version, so hopefully it's going to get better. Okay, but what is really interesting is that you can actually have your images culled when you're importing. So that's what we're going to do. Here is the folder of like full 1,300 images from my Iceland workshop that happened a week ago. If you want to sign up for waitlist for the next one, check out the link in the description. So now, as you can see, you have a new option here. So upon importing, you can also select assisted culling. So now you're going to see Lightroom actually analyzing your photos. So it's analyzing 1,325 photos. And here is how it's going to select the images, the culled images, and then how it's going to reject the images. So as you can already see, some images are getting these green marks. So this is the score that I showed you before, so the culling score of the singular image. So based on these 3 parameters, which is subject focus, eye focus, and eyes open, Lightroom can choose image as selected or rejected. So you choose it right here. You decide whether you want to include those parameters in the selection or not. So first of all, you can deselect all of these, and now it's gonna obviously select in all of the images. You can choose it to reject documents and receipts, which I don't have here. I don't have images of documents and receipts with my professional cameras. Then you can select misfires, and I can actually probably see if there are any misfires here. So let's see the rejects. So this is what it selected as misfires. I'm not sure why, to be honest. Okay, because it's blurry. That is not really accurate, but we'll get into that. And then the one that I don't like at all is the exposure issues. So it's trying to judge the image by the exposure. So here you can see like these images, like these are images that are photos of a silhouette. So in artistic type of photography, I don't think the exposure issues is the measure of if the image is good or bad. So I wouldn't rely on this. And as we could see, I couldn't really rely on the misfires as well, because it also calculated this, scored this as a misfire. As you can see, it's misfire because it says it's blurry. I don't know, it's blurry. I don't think it's blurry, to be honest. Yeah. So those rejection options, I don't think they really work well at this point, at least for wedding photography specifically, or artistic portraiture photography. Now you can also have images. Now let's choose how we're gonna call the images in, for example. So now we can choose subject focus, and we can choose the level of how much in focus we want our images to be, or how sharp or how soft we want our images to be. So now let's view all of the images, so we can view all of the images. And let's say we're gonna go for super sharp images, and you can see the colors are changing of these red and green markings depending on the sharpness that you choose for your culling, or like scoring, let's say, of your images. So let's go for like super sharp images, and you see it only selected 5 images out of 1,000. Not really, doesn't really make sense, to be honest, because for some reason it did. What's with the zoom? Okay, I see. I think because it's a preview, it's not previewing the bigger image. So this is score 100, right? And then when we go to 90, we have 50 images selected, right? So we have images that are having score of what, like 90, right? Then we have 80, 70, 50, and so on. So what you could here do is you could actually really reject photos that are not in focus. It's just a matter of what does it mean for you to have image in focus. So I would recommend seeing what is 0 score, for example, which we can go to 10, and we're gonna go for rejects, and there is nothing yet in those images that is rejected. Let's go to 20, nothing. Let's go to 30. 30. Now we have some images rejected. So let's see what does it mean. So this is subject out of focus score 28. So this was intentional, focusing on these mountains in the background. This would be like if I would be calculating like on a portrait. This is like the portrait score of this. I would say it's 0. It's not sharp at all. So I wonder why it's considered as 30 or like 28. But yeah, it is what it is. So it's a beta, it's early access. You gotta work it through to see if it's working for you or not. I wouldn't rely too much on this. So all these, to be honest, and iFocus is the same. You get the iFocus score and can choose what's the score you want the images to be included. And then you can also include only photos with eyes open and reject all the remaining photos. So this all can be applied, and by this scores, you can be like, you see there's 775 images selected, 550 rejected. So we go for all of them, and you can see, the different images here, and you can obviously only import images that are selected, or you can import all of them. So what we're going to do, we are going to import all of them. So we can also look at that score later on. How does it look in the library module? And we're going to focus on one more feature here, which I think has even better potential, because when you're shooting artistic portraits, when you're doing wedding photography, it's more important for you to be able to choose the one best image out of a sequence of similar images than to judge the image by its sharpness and blurriness and the eyes being open or not, because sometimes eyes closed is going to be a better portrait, especially better wedding portrait showing more emotion, being like overall better photo. So for me, what I would prefer would be to have, okay, these images are all similar and this one is the best one. Like I would like the tool to kind of do this for me, so I can review and being like, okay, let me see that best image in your opinion. So let's look how Lightroom can handle that now. Okay, so looking at the library module, you can see assisted culling. So you can see all of the stuff that we chose upon importing, and you can change it as well. So you can kind of change it on the fly, which is awesome. Of course, that's only when you import all of the images, because now we see all the photos, so we can obviously, rate all these photos. And you're gonna see when it's gonna fetch all the previews, you're gonna also see all these markings on these images as well. And here again, culling scores, you can see the score of individual images. The one more interesting feature that you have here that I don't think I've seen in the import module is you can organize these results. So you can go batch actions and you can actually apply a rating, a color, a flag to whatever you choose. So let's say you can apply flag, pick flag for all the photos that are selected and rejected flag to all the photos that are rejected, and be like, boom, okay. And you can then easily filter those images. So boom, let's say we're focusing only on these images and not the other ones. So that's one thing. I'm actually gonna reset that. So I'm gonna actually undo that, because I do want to show you another feature, which is the stacking, which is more interesting one. So now Lightroom can stack visually similar images, or can stack images that were shot in the same moment by looking at the timestamp of the image. So to access this, you have the option here, stacking. So let's click auto stack, and you can see two options: stack by capture time or stack by visual similarity, which is more interesting and like the most interesting here. So here you can choose, and boom. So when you select that, it's already gonna stack automatically those images. And that's really cool for me, because now I can actually decide how similar you want these images to be. So let's say less similar, and it's gonna say, okay, it's 7 stacks. So all the photos from the same spot are stacked together. Then if you're like somewhere in the middle, you're gonna see that we now have 18 stacked, 9 images unstacked, and then you can choose more similar images. So probably something that we want is going to be something between, the final 2, like 7, 8, 9 out of 10 here. So let's go somewhere here and let's see how it's doing. So now we have 100 stacks. So here's a stack of 5 images. And I think it looks pretty good. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of these images are considered similar. So these are stacked together. So what is interesting, you can actually play with that when you're editing. But it's going to be different for a different portrait. For some reason, there's 241 here, which is probably many too many. Look, it's stacked photos like this, together with photos like this, together with photos like this. So this is not similar to me. So again, probably going to move up a little bit and choose how you want these images to be stacked. This is a cool feature, and I think this has a huge potential. The one thing that I'm missing is the option. So let's say I'm going to stack them like this. Okay, so boom, like this. The one thing that I'm missing is have an option to easily open the full stack of images and choose one of them as my select. So let's say I have 12 images here. The only way for me now to look at them all is to open the stack, select them manually, and click on the survey. I would love that to be just one click thing. So I could one click on my stack. Maybe there is a way. I didn't find this. Let's say open in the survey. Not really. I can see only one image. When I'm opening the stack, it's still selected the one image. So I don't think there is a way. If anyone knows a way how to do it, let me know down in the comments. But this is definitely interesting, and this is definitely something that might be really useful. How does it compare to like a third-party apps that are used for culling? So many wedding photographers are using third-party applications, third-party software / services that can do the culling. I personally cull manually most of my weddings. I did use Imagine culling a few times. I do edit my images with Imagine, so I do use Imagine to AI edit my images, to batch edit my images, so I can, have my images corrected for white balance, exposure, applying my look, and then I can go through them manually, so I don't have to do everything to them. I can just fine tune all of my edits. And Imagen does have a culling, which is free if you're using the editing. So let me show you how it looks when you go to the Imagen culling. The cool thing that you get is that you get all the images edited already. So this is the same selection of images. It gave 5 stars to images that are keepers and 3 stars to the images that are standalones. Then we also have 2 stars for duplicates. What is better in Imagen at this point, because it's been a service for a while, is the way you can really easily swap images. So let's say here's a group of 13 images, and the one that I see currently is the one that is being picked. I can look through all of the different ones, and I can actually look at them all here and press or use my keyboard to choose the one that I want, and I can press S, and it's going to swap the image that I'm seeing now to the best image out of that sequence. But the most importantly, I'm looking at the edited images, like the images that are already AI edited with my profile. So that's kind of more interesting, but I do like where Lightroom is going. It's definitely going to be handy for many wedding photographers. And I'm really interested, what do you think about the new features in Lightroom? Or will we ever see Lightroom doing AI editing like inside the Lightroom? I think it has a potential. It could be like this. Will it happen? Maybe eventually. The difference is that services like Imagen are specifically making software for wedding, portrait, or event photographers, where Lightroom has to be good for everyone. So that's kind of the biggest difference why we don't see many of these features being specifically made for us, wedding photographers, in Lightroom. And we can easily see that with stuff like Imagen, where you can contact the team and be like, hey guys, can you include this feature in the future? So we're going to see how it goes. By the way, this video completely not sponsored by Imagen. Imagen is my partner. I am partner with Imagen. They do sponsor videos from time to time. I know the team. I use the tool. I am affiliated with them. So I love Imagen, but I also love Lightroom and Adobe, and I've been using it forever. So this is my take on the entire Lightroom 15. Let me know in the comments what do you think about the new Lightroom, and then watch this video next.